the job of a writer is to come up with an idea to write about. And that's a difficult process. A common question that I get as a writer, and I think a lot of writers get this, is where do you get your ideas? And my answer is always, well, that's the hard part. There's no easy answer. Like, that's the challenge of the job, is thinking of something else to write about. And for me, it's always been a combination of two things. It's reading as much as I can. So just constantly reading books, listening to podcasts, reading magazines and newspapers for hours and hours per day, not as a form of entertainment, but as a form of generating a new idea of what to write about next. And then, so that's the first point. And the second point for me is I do a lot of walking. I go for a lot of walks during the day because I personally, and I know this is true for a lot of other people, there's academic research on this, you generate better, clearer, more creative thoughts when you're walking. And if I just sit down at my desk and I say, okay, I sit in my chair and I need to come up with an idea, I'm just going to close my eyes and think of an idea, like, forget about it. It's never going to work. But if I go for a walk around the block and I'm just walking around, looking at the trees, just going for a walk, that's when the ideas start clicking. And your mind just starts moving kind of with your legs, I think. So I spend a lot of time reading and a lot of time walking, and that might not look like work for people.
Yeah.
And I don't disagree with people that say, man, that sounds great. Like, it is pretty great, but that's the process of the job of coming up with something to write about. And I think this is true for a lot of jobs. A lot of people have jobs that require creativity. And I think they foolishly just sit at their desk and wait for it to come.
Yes.
There's a lot of people who have creative jobs. And creative jobs it's not just writing or art or anything. Creative jobs can be, strategy planning, marketing, and whatnot. I think a lot of these people should, to the extent that they can, to the extent that they can convince their bosses, should spend more time daydreaming, walking, thinking, talking to friends, reading books. That's where ideas come from.
And the problem is that it's counterintuitive, to yourself. You think, well, what am I doing now? I'm working. I should be, in front of my laptop and, typing. This is not work. Maybe I'm not working hard enough. It's this intuitive thing.
It's very counterintuitive, and we're kind of predisposed to want to show others that we're working, not just our bosses, but our coworkers or our spouses or ourselves.
Exactly.
That, hey, I'm sitting at a desk and I'm typing, I'm doing something. Look at me, I'm working. And I think most people would agree that their best ideas have come when they're not doing that. Their best ideas come in the shower. They come in the car. They come as they're riding their bike on the weekends when they're not sitting at their desk. That's where ideas come from.
Exactly, man. And
but
also
it's hard for me. It's easy for me to say that, but it's still hard for me in the middle of the day to sit on my couch and read a book and convince myself that I'm working right now. It's hard.
Man, the same with me. And it's not only about ideas. It's about solutions to problems.
Exactly. Absolutely.
You found a solution. You go for a walk and you find a solution all of a sudden.
I totally agree. So it's not just creative jobs. It's not just writing or art. It's technical jobs too that require just like it's just a process of clearing your brain and being able to focus on what's at hand. I think you focus your brain much more clearly when you are distracted from other things rather than sitting at your desk forcing ideas to come.